What's up everyone, welcome to the club. In today's video we're going to be drawing Scrap Baby from Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's get started in the center of our page with the eyes. So to start on the left side, we're going to draw a circle, starting from the very top. We'll work our way around to the bottom, and then bring that back up towards the top. Now we're going to leave a large gap in the center and draw the same thing on the right. So let's line up the top of the circle, curve around towards the same height along the bottom, and pull that back up towards the top. Let's add a smaller circle in the inside. Starting on the left, just try to leave an even space gap all the way around. And we'll do the same thing on the right. Let's fill the outside ring in black. Now I'm going to add one small circle in the center of the pupils. Now I'm going to move up and draw on the eyebrows. Above the left eye, I'm going to draw a curve. From the outside, I'm going to curve up and then down. Let's line this up on the right and do the same thing. Now I just want to curl around the inside and outside of the eyebrow. So let's start on the left. Draw almost like a small bracket curving back in. The same thing along the inside. And then we'll connect the tops with another curve. Going up and then back down. Let's fill the eyebrows in black. And then we'll add 3 pointed eyelashes above each eye. Starting on the left side, we'll draw a point going up and then back down. We'll fill that in black. Now we're going to move to the side and draw 2 more. Now we're going to angle this one out and then back in. And then on the inside, we'll go in and back in towards the eye. Let's do the same thing over on the right. Starting with the center eyelash. And then we'll move to the sides. Let's move to the center in between the eyes. We're going to start with a point. From this point, I want to curve out and then down towards the left. Go back to the top, we'll curve out and down towards the right. Now let's connect the bottom with a straight line going across. And then from the side of the nose, I'm going to curve up and out underneath the eye on both sides. Let's add the cheeks along the bottom of the eye. Starting on the left side, curve around, go in a circle, and go back up towards the top. Let's do the same thing on the right side. Let's go back to the left side. On the inside edge of the circle, we're going to curve down and then up towards the right, just for the top edge of the mouth. And then from the bottom of the nose, we draw a straight line coming down towards the mouth. Let's add the lips. From the center, curve up and then down towards the left. Go up and then down towards the right. Let's go back to the left side. We draw a lower curve coming down towards the bottom of the mouth, and we're going to pull that up on the right. Now we draw 2 straight lines coming down towards the chin. Let's start on the left side. Draw a straight line coming down. Do the same thing on the right. Now we're going to connect these 2 lines with a curve coming down and then back up. Let's split the chin in half from top to bottom with a straight line. And then we'll add the bottom lip. Starting on the left, we're going to curve down and then up. Go back to the center and do the same thing on the right. Now I'm going to move back up towards the eyes and draw a straight line coming out towards the top of the cheeks on either side. And then from here we're going to curve down and then in towards the bottom corner of the chin. Come around the cheek, down, and then pull that in. Let's add a crack underneath the left eye. Starting on the inside, come down with an angle, go up, go across, and go back up in behind the eye. We're going to fill that area in black. And then we're going to add some teeth along the inside of the mouth. Starting from the top, we're going to come down and then up towards the left, almost like a V. And the same thing on the right. Now we're going to repeat this all the way out towards the side of the mouth. And then we'll add a few along the bottom. Starting from the center, go up and then down. Add a few more on either side. And then we'll fill the inside of the mouth in black. Now we're going to move up to the top and draw on the hair. Let's start in the center, right up here. We're going to start with a point. Now from that point, we're going to draw what looks like an upside down raindrop. Starting from the center, we're going to curve out, round at the top, come down, and then in towards that bottom point. Now we're going to start to layer the hair going around the head. Let's start over on the left side, curve out, and then down towards the same height that we have in the center. Line this up on the right, and do the same thing. Now from the bottom, I want to curve out, up. I'm just going to tuck this in behind that center hair. And the same thing on the right, going around, and then tucking that in. Now we're going to continue this all the way down towards the side of the head. Let's step up on the left, curve out, and then down. And then again, we're going to go out, round this out, pull that in behind that hair. Let's add one more. From here we're going to step up, we're going to curve out, and then down on top of the cheek. I'm just going to pull this all the way back up. Going out, up, and then pulling that in. Now I'm going to layer a bit more hair underneath. Starting over on the left, curve down, and then in. I'm just going to taper that back up towards the center. Let's go over again. Curving down and out towards the right. Taper that back up and in. Let's add a couple more. On the left, we'll curve down on top of the eyebrow. Pull that up and in. I'm just going to add one smaller one along the side. Starting up here, curve down and in towards the eye. Taper that back out. Now from the inside edge of the eye, I'm going to curve up and in underneath the hair on both sides. And then from the top of the nose, we're going to draw a straight line going up underneath the hair. Let's go to the outside of the eye and curve out and then in underneath the hair on both sides. Now I'm going to move to the side and add the pigtails. Over on the left, starting up here, we're going to draw a curve going out and then tucking that back in. Line this up on the right and do the same thing. Now from the bottom, we're going to curve out and then down. Line this up on the right, go out and then down towards the same height. Now I just want to taper that back up underneath the strap. Then go out so it gets wider and pull that in. And then we're going to layer the hair in behind. We're going to step up along the side, curve out and then down. And then again, tapering that back up and then in behind the strap. Do the same thing on the right. And then from here, we're going to step up, curve up, and then tuck that in behind the top of the strap. Do the same thing on the right. Up, and then tucking that back in. We'll add a little bit of detail to the top of the head. Over on the left side, we'll draw a circle, just on the outside of the head. And we'll trace this out on the inside. then we'll connect the circle to the head with 2 straight angled lines. Let's add some wires. On the left side, we're going to curve up and back in behind the head. So I'm going to trace that out on the inside. Now we want to do the same thing on the right. Starting down here, we're going to curve up and then down and trace that on the inside. And then we're going to add a couple pins along the top of the head. Starting on the left side, we're going to draw a small circle. Then from the bottom of the circle, we draw a straight angled line coming down and in behind the head. Let's add a couple more on the right side. Start with a circle. And from the bottom, we'll draw a straight angled line coming in. And we'll do one more down over here. Now let's move down and draw on the body. We're going to start on the left side of the chin. Start with a curve going out and then in. And the same thing on the right side. And then we'll connect these 2 lines with a curve going up and then back and down. Let's add 2 large buttons in the center of the body. Starting underneath the chin on the right, we'll draw a circle. And we'll trace that out on the inside. Let's go over towards the left, just down here, add another circle. And then again, we're going to trace that out on the inside. And then from the center of the body, we'll draw a straight line going up about halfway. Now from here, I'm going to curve out and up underneath the chin, going in behind the button. Go back to the center and do the same thing on the right. Let's fill that upper area in black. Now from the bottom points, we want to curve in and then out towards the hips. And we'll connect these 2 lines with another curve, coming down and then back up. Now going back to the top, we're going to start on the left side, we're going to curve down and then back up. Add a small half circle on the inside. Starting on the left, we're going to go up and then down. And then above this half circle, we draw 2 straight lines coming down to the spine. Let's fill the outside areas in black. And then from the bottom in the center, draw a straight line coming down. Let's move out to the hips and curve out and then down the skirt on both sides. Now we're going to connect the sides of the skirt with a zigzag going all the way across. So we're going to start on the left side, go up and then down. I'm just going to repeat this all the way across towards the right. And then we'll add the pleats. Starting from the top point, we're just going to curve up and then in towards the hip. So we'll repeat this across. Now as we come over towards the right, we're going to curve in the opposite direction, curving in towards the left. Now let's draw on the legs, leaving a gap in the center, go over towards the left side, curve out and down towards the heel, move over towards the right, and do the same thing. Then we're going to round out the bottom of the feet. Starting from the left, curve down and up towards the toe, and do the same thing on the right. Let's round out the top of the foot. We're going to connect the toe to the heel with a half circle, going up and then down. Let's add 2 wheels underneath each foot. Starting on the left side, draw a circle, and go in towards the heel and do the same thing. We'll add the sole of the shoe, stepping down, and then up. Then we're going to add a strap along the top of each foot. Starting at the very top of this curve, we come in and then down, step out, just draw that same curve. Now I'm going to go back up and draw the side of the leg. Starting on the left side, curve out, and pull that in on top of the foot. And then about halfway down the leg, we're going to add a circle. Starting from the side of the leg, curve in, and then back out. From the inside of the circle, we're going to draw 2 curves. Let's start at the bottom, curve down and up. Line this up on the right, and do the same thing. We'll step up and just trace that out again. Let's add one more circle on the outside of the left leg. Going around and then back up. We're going to add a couple wires, starting at the bottom on the outside of the leg, curve out and then in towards the ankle, step out and just trace that. Do the same thing above, curving out and then back in. We'll trace that out on the outside. Let's add a little bit more detail to the right leg. Starting on top of the strap, we're going to go up, down, go up, and then back down. We're going to fill that inside area in black. And then about halfway down the leg, draw another curve. Go down, and then back up. Now let's move back up and draw on the arms. We're going to start with the shoulders first. So we step down on the side of the body, curve out, and then up. Line this up on the right. We did the same thing. I'm just going to pull this up and in behind the head. Let's draw on the upper arm. Starting from the inside, we're going to draw a half oval. Curve down and out. Round up the arm and pull that back up. We'll leave a little overlap on the outside of the shoulder. And then we want to take the same curve, step down, draw that 3 times across the arm. Let's go back to the left. We're going to draw the hinge of the elbow. Starting on the outside, we're going to draw a small half circle, going down and then back up. Now from here, we're going to add another circle, going all the way around and back in. And then we're going to trace that out on the inside. Now from the bottom of the circle, we're going to step out, draw an angled line going out and then down. And from here, it's going to curve up and then pull that in toward the side of the circle. Then on the inside, we're going to step down, draw a small circle for the hinge. We're going to connect this to the larger circle with 2 angled lines. And then go to the bottom of the circle, draw a straight angled line, and down. I'm going to curve down and in, and then back up underneath that smaller circle. Let's add some teeth along the top and bottom. Starting up here, we're going to draw the V. I'm just going to repeat this all the way across toward the inside. And do the same thing along the bottom. Let's add some wires. Starting from this hinge, we're going to curve up and back down, and then we're going to trace that out on the outside. Let's go to the bottom of this circle, curve in and back out, and then again just tracing that on the outside. Let's add one more. Starting on the outside of the arm, we curve out and then in, and again tracing that out. Let's add a couple pins to the arm. Starting out here, we draw that circle, and from the inside, draw a straight line coming in behind the arm. Let's move up, add one more. Just going to pull this in towards the shoulder. Now let's draw on the right arm. Starting at the bottom, curve down and out, go out, curve in the opposite direction towards the wrist. Now we're going to connect these 2 lines with a curve, going down and then up. Let's add a couple more curves to the inside of the arm. Starting from the inside, curve up towards the outside, and then we'll do that one more time. Let's go down towards the inside of the wrist. We're going to draw the thumb, curving in and then back out. I just want to taper that back up toward the top of the hand. Let's add 3 fingers. From here, we're going to curve out and then down, taper that back up, do that again, curving out and then down, and up, and then one final time. Just going to pull this up and in towards the outside of the wrist. Let's add a couple more pins on the right side. Starting up here, add a circle, a straight line coming in. We'll draw one in towards the hip. Here, a straight line coming in towards the body. And that's pretty much it. There's Scrap Baby from Five Nights at Freddy's. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Make sure you subscribe and send me your requests in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.